It's story time, kiddies. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Teeks, or you can call me Takara. It is whichever one that you would like to call me. And if this is your first time clicking on my channel, don't forget to go ahead and click that subscribe button. And everyone, go ahead and follow me on my Twitter, my Snapchat, and my Instagram at Miss Fabulous Teeks. I have a story for you guys today. This happened about a month ago, and I was really mad when it happened. So let's just hope I don't get mad all over again when I tell this story, because I ain't got time. So this story is about the time when I went to the library and I basically got in an argument with this old man at the library. And you know, when you go to the library, you're supposed to be quiet. So without further ado, let's just get right into this story. Alright, so basically I have a Poshmark account, and if you're not following me on Poshmark, shameless promotion, you can go ahead and follow me on there. But I have a Poshmark account and somebody ordered something off of my Poshmark account, so I basically had to print off a shipping label. We have a printer in our house. It's in my grandpa's office. I went to go print out the shipping label on the printer, and basically our printer didn't have any ink. Like, the ink ran out. So I was like, I'm gonna have to go to Office Max and print out the label. So I was like, yeah, I'll just go to Office Max, whatever. So then my grandma had this bright idea, and she was like, well, there's no need to go to Office Max, just go to the library. I was like, good idea, Grandma. Not a good idea. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go to the library. I want to get a library card anyways. I need to double check to see if I have a library card at this library. So next time when I want to go to the library and get some books, I can just come to the library, get some books, print out wherever I need to print out, if I need to, get on the computer, you know, all that good stuff. So I head up to the library, walk in the library. I'm feeling good, you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, this is the library, yes. I had my hair in a bun. I was dressed down. Walked up to the front desk at the library so that way that I can check and see if I had a library card. Now, there was a lady standing in front of me or whatever. She was with one of the ladies, and then there was another lady who was at the front desk, and she was talking to her co-worker and basically ignoring me. I guess she felt the need to ignore me because I looked like a freaking child. But I'm like, hello? Do you see me or do you not see me? Can you give me some service, please? I kind of like scoot up to the desk area a little bit closer so that she can know that my presence is here. Like, I'm here. Can you serve me, please? I don't care if this is a library or not. Serve me. See, she was talking to her coworker, and I overhear them. They had like a tablet, and first of all, you at work, so why do y'all got tablets out? Like, put that away. So I get up to the desk, and I hear the lady saying to her coworker, "Oh my gosh, that's such a cute little baby." And I'm looking like, ma'am, I need your help and you're ignoring me. This is something that you do on your break, not when you're at work in front of library customers. I'm like, lady, you need to get it together. And then she had the nerve to say,
hold on 1 second.
Did she just give me the finger? I'm looking like, no, you need to get me my library card. So finally, she sits there for a good 15 seconds, and then she finally was like, what can I help you with? You can help me with getting this library card. I finally was like, hey, you know, I just want to check and see if I have a library card at this library. She looks in the computer. She was like, no, can I see your driver's license? Gave her my driver's license, and then she told me I didn't have a library card. So I'm like, oh, I gotta sign up for a library card. She was like, you can go down there and sign up for a library card. So I'm like, all right, let me just go sign up. I went and signed up. I brought the paper back, and she tied me up and gave me a library card. Didn't take that long. After that, I asked her, I was like, hey, you know, how do I get on the computer if I need to print something out? She proceeded to tell me everything that I needed to do, and she pointed me to the computers. So I walked back toward where I had came in at, and there were a whole bunch of computers that were available. I went up to one of the computers, and usually when one of the computers are available, they will have green words up and it'll say available. So I went, I sat down at the computer, already irritated at the fact that I had to go through all of this just to print out a freaking label. I'm like, why did I listen to my grandma? I should have just went to the dang Office Max. Logged on to the computer and I went to my Yahoo email because in order for me to download the Poshmark label, I had to get on Yahoo and download it onto whatever computer I was sitting at. I went onto Yahoo and I noticed that somebody's email was up on the Yahoo thing, and I'm like, this is weird. Like, when somebody logs off a library computer, it's supposed to automatically log off, but somebody's Yahoo account was logged in. It was like some girl's name, and I was like, whoa, I literally could have logged in and just like gotten all of her information, but I didn't, of course. So I went and I signed out of her name and I signed in my name. Went and I proceeded to download the label onto the computer. So then I turned and I looked and I noticed that one of my friends from high school that I graduated with, she was sitting next beside me. So I was like, hey girl, or whatever. She was like, hey, you know, casual speaking. And then I asked her, where do I go to print stuff out? And she pointed and was like, you can go back there and print out whatever you need to print out. And I was like, you gotta pay? She was like, yeah. So I was like, okay. So I got up from the computer and I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if I should leave my purse here so no one takes my spot. But I was like, you know what? The librarian had gave me like a little sheet of paper with all of my little information on it, like my numbers to log into the computer. So I was like, you know what? I'll just leave my little piece of paper sitting right here and hopefully nobody will steal my spot. I proceeded to go up to the printer and there were two older ladies that they were trying to print something out. Well, I guess they were having problems with the printer. They couldn't print out or they didn't know how to print. So one of the librarian ladies that was working that whole area over there, she went back to the computer to help them out, and I'm just standing there like, should I just go ahead and try to print out my piece of paper, or should I just wait because they were in front of me? I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time to wait. I'm about to print my piece of paper out because I gotta go. So I walk up to the little printer area with the computer and all of this stuff, and at this point I'm confused as hell, y'all. I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I had no clue what I was doing. Clearly this lady behind me knew what she was doing. Well, she wasn't really behind me, she was just walking past. I think she realized that I was confused as hell, so she walked up to me and was like, do you need help, baby? And I was like, yeah, what do I do? So she was like, yeah, you just click this and you click that and then you print it out. So we went to start printing and she was like, and then you just put your money in. So I put my money in and my money got jammed. I think it was like 25 or something type of cents. I don't remember how many cents I put in there, not a lot, but I put it in there and it got jammed. So I'm like, why is all these problems happening up in this library? Like, y'all got this rude lady, y'all printer don't work. Like, I had to get a library card just to print out a piece of paper. Why? So I'm just like, you know what? Teeks? Woosah. The other two ladies who were in front of me before I got onto the printer, I looked back at them and I said, did y'all have problems with this printer too when y'all put y'all money in the printer? And they were like, yeah, we did. The thing stole our money. Just ask one of those ladies at that desk to override it, and you could just go ahead and print out your paper and you can give the money to them or whatever, or they can give you your money back, whatever. So I was like, why Jesus, why? So I'm like, okay. So the lady comes over or whatever. She was like, so and so, can you help this young lady right here, because I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to help this person and this person or whatever, and we need a key and all of this stuff. So I'm like, bruh. So the lady comes and she walks over to me. She was like, oh yeah, I'll help you. She was like, how much money did you lose? And I was like, you know, I lost like 25 cents, whatever, however much cent it was. And she was like, all right. So she started like working with the machine, trying to shake it, trying to get up. Oh, so and so is gonna need the help with this. I'm like, lady, just give me my change. So she ended up pulling out like a certain amount of change, but it still wasn't what I had put into the machine. It was less than what I had put into the machine. She was like, okay, if you just go over there, she's going to override your paper and give you the rest of your change. So I said, okay, cool. cool, I'm up out of here. So I walk over and it was this middle-aged black woman. She was sitting like at the computer. She was like, how much did you put in there? And I told her how much, and she was like, oh, okay, what computer were you sitting at? And I look over and I'm pointed and I'm like, that computer right there, the one that man is about to sit at. Oh no. So he's literally about to sit at my computer. She was like, oh, okay, you were at that one. And I was like, yeah. So I'm like, I hope he don't sit there. But I was like, maybe my friend that was sitting next to me, maybe she'll tell him that somebody's sitting there. Like, okay, you have the shipping label. I was like, yeah, that's the one I had. I went and I grabbed the piece of paper, walked away. And I was like, oh snap, I forgot to get my change. But I'm trying to catch this man before he sits at my desk, because I'm like, I need to do one last thing on that computer before I leave this library. I walked back over and I was like, did I have change? And she was like, yeah, you just left before I was able to give it to you. I'm like, my dumb ass. So she gave me the change and I proceeded to walk over to the computer. And I'm walking slowly, trying to figure out what I'm gonna say to this man. He was an older Caucasian man, and I'm like, what am I going to say to him? I'm just going to be nice and tell him simply that I was sitting at this computer and I need to erase my printing label off the computer and sign out of my email. So this is where it gets juicy. So I walk up to him and he's setting his stuff down, getting all comfortable, getting ready to log into the computer, just like how I did when I first got there. And there's a lot of other computers available, right? Oh, he sits there and I said, excuse me, sir, I was sitting at this computer. Do you mind if I get my spot back? I'm weak right now. So he was like,
don't you see that this computer says available?
I said, yes, I understand that. I said, I just need to do one thing on the computer. I said, well, actually 2 things on the computer, and it's only gonna take me about 10 seconds. I said, and then you can have the computer back. I said, I won't need it anymore. He said,
this computer says available. And do you know when the computers at the library all say available in green, that means that this computer is available to anybody who comes and sit at it or walks into the library.
I said, I understand that. I said, I need to just do 2 things on the computer. Why you gotta be so rude? So I said, sir, I understand. I said, I understand. I said, well, you know what? I'll just wait, I said, until you get done, because it was like 4:30 at that point, and I was like, the library is about to close at 5, so I'll just wait till he get up. I said, I'm not about to sit here and argue with this man. Obviously, he's being just rude for no reason and giving me a hard time. Because I look young or whatever I look like, he was being rude. I said, you know what? I said, that's fine. I said, well, why are you gonna wait here? He was like, don't you understand? I said, I just need to delete a printing label that's on that computer. I said, because it has my address on it, and just for my security purposes, I want to erase that off the computer because it downloaded onto the library computer. I said, as well as I want to sign out of my Yahoo account, my email. I said, because you can have access to all of that. He said, no. Anytime you log into anything on the computer and it shuts down like this and makes it available to everybody in the library, it automatically signs you out of everything. I said, yeah, I understand it may do that. I said, but the shipping label is still on there and I want to delete that for my security purposes. I don't want your ass coming to my damn house. I just don't. So he was like, I'm trying to tell you, watch, I'm trying to tell you. I said, sir, I just want to explain to you that when I logged into this computer, it was available to me too. I said, when I logged into my Yahoo account, I said, before I got a chance to log into my account, I said, somebody else's Yahoo account was up. I said, and I could have just simply went into their email and stuff like that. I said, I had to sign out of their email manually. I said, so I don't want you to get on this computer and get onto Yahoo and my email is still up and you're able to get into all of my information. That's all. Or I said, or anybody else. He said, well, there's a million other computers you can get on and log out. I said, this is the computer that I was sitting at. He was just making it so difficult. Like, I hate those type of people who just make things so difficult. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna go to the librarian. So I went to the librarian, told her, and she was an older Caucasian woman or whatever, and I was like, hey, basically explained to her the same thing of why I was trying to get back on that computer to do what I was trying to do. And she was like, oh no, you have nothing to worry about, everything is signed out, da 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 da. I explained to her the same thing, and she was like, oh no 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 no. I said, oh yes 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 yes, you gonna let me get on this computer. I said, and I'm not leaving until I get on it. So then I walked back over, we walked back over there together, and another lady was like, hey, just go over there and tell him to get up from the computer so she can do whatever she needed to do. I was like, yes, please tell this woman to let me tell him to get up so I can go over there. So we walk over there together. She was like, sir, can you just get up from the computer just for a second? She was being all nice to him. I'm like, snatch him up. No, I'm just playing. But she was like, can you just get up so she can do whatever she needs to do? It's only going to take a second. He said, what? I was like, well, I just told her. He said, watch. What do you need to do? He was like, I said, can you log in? He logged in. We all went. He did not get up from the seat. He refused to get up, and I was like, okay, I really don't care if you get up or not. That's not, I don't want the seat back. I just want to log off. Finally was like, fine. We logged in. We got on the Yahoo. What do you know? Whose name is still logged in? Takes. My name was still logged in. So he felt stupid. He was like, logged it out. He was like, okay, well, we'll go ahead and log out. He was like, but let me explain to you why you're still logged in. He said, you see this right here, this button? He said, if you would have unchecked the stayed signed in box, you would have automatically been signed out and you wouldn't have to worry about your email still being up. He said, and you know why you didn't uncheck it? Because you're
lazy.
Lazy? Bitch, where? I'm lazy. So I said, okay, sir. I said, clearly the person in front who was using this computer before me didn't know that they had to stay signed in checked either. I said, so this is something that the library should have been checking out anyways, making sure these computers don't do that or making sure that they're unchecked. I said, but you know what? I'm not gonna argue with you. Can I go ahead and delete the printing label off of this computer? Librarian was like rushing me. She was like,
what else do you have to do? What else? Just hurry up, let her, whatever. What else she said to do?
I'm looking like you are rude too. We're looking for the printing label in the downloading tab on the computer, and I finally found it and I deleted it off the computer. I did everything really fast. I deleted the printed label. It went to the recycling bin, and I went to the recycling bin and I deleted it out of the recycling bin too. I'm telling y'all, when I went into all the downloaded files on that library's computer, there was so many people's like information and files and stuff like that on the computer. I don't even think people think to delete their stuff off of like public computers like that, but there's crazy people out there, I feel like, that will try to take your bank information or any type of information about you and use it. And I just was like, I'm doing this for my security reasons, so why are y'all getting so upset about that? Like, I'm not trying to cause no trouble. Like, he kept talking to me or whatever, just like going back and forth with me, and I felt myself getting loud. I'm like, shh, this is a library.
This is a library!
After that, he got his little computer back. He probably only had like 5 minutes left on the computer because by that time, the library was about to close. My friend that was at the library that was sitting next to me, she was just looking at him like shaking her head, and she was like, bye girl. And I was like, bye. And I just looked at the librarian and I was like, I bet y'all felt so stupid the fact that I was still logged in on that computer. Moral of the story is, if you ever use a public library and you're on the computer, make sure that you delete any of your information off the computer. Secondly, if you're somebody who's just rude to people for no reason, don't do that, because when I got back to the car, I literally was so mad that I cried. For the fact for somebody that doesn't know me to call me lazy, and I was having a good day, that really made me mad. So if you're at school and you're talking about people and you're bullying, you're being rude to people for no reason, like, don't do that, because you never know what somebody is going through. But I don't think I was just crying because like I'm like, oh, I was crying because I'm like, I was so mad. And when I get really mad, I cry because it fumes me for somebody to just be that ignorant and just be rude for no reason when I didn't do anything. And yeah, that was my story about the time I got into an argument and I was yelling at the library with an ignorant old ass man. If you guys like storytime videos, don't forget to give this video a thumb up and share it with all of your friends if you thought it was funny. Don't forget to subscribe and join our family because we just hit 75K. That is freaking crazy, teacups. That is crazy. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.